How's it going today, everybody? Today, I'm going to talk to you about the importance of finger pressure, why you don't want to commit too soon, and why I feel grippers are useless when it comes to training for arm wrestling. So, most people, most arm wrestlers that are starting out, a lot of people feel stronger when they go up to their opponent and they're squeezing their hand, because they're feeling like all that power and energy is going into their hand and it's immobilizing their opponent. There's many things wrong with that theory. The biggest thing I feel that's wrong with it is you're creating contact areas on your hand that's further out on the end of your limb. And also, once you initiate that pressure and you're squeezing on the hand, your chances of being able to get a better hand position, wrap more around their hand, or readjust to a different spot on the body or the part of their hand that you want to pull them in, you're cock blocking yourself, because as soon as you release any of that finger pressure, you're allowing your opponent to capitalize on that pressure release where you were putting it. So when you're starting out, if initially when you squeeze onto your hand onto your opponent's hand, all your contact area is no longer generated in the center of your hand. I like to think of arm wrestling is everything's generated from the center of your hand. Whenever you're pulling, you're always concentrating on pulling from here. You don't want to pull from here because you've just extended the whole length of your arm and they're pulling from the furthest end of your hand. When you're committed and you're squeezing onto their hand, if you do it too soon, you're never going to get a better position without giving something away in order to get something, because you've got so much energy concentrated on your fingertips that as soon as you release anything, they can get further out on your hand, and the object is to keep them into the center of your hand. So when you're going to compete, try, if you look down at your fingers and you see your fingernails white, you're committing too much too soon. You can actually just plank your fingers like this. It's more of a cupping motion and pulling with here as opposed to pulling with the end of your fingers. So when you're gripping up and you start and you drive into a hook, if you haven't committed with your fingers, you can actually swallow more of your opponent's hand. And once you have all of their hand into the center of yours and you feel 100% comfortable, then you can commit. But if you commit too soon, you're going to lose your ability to be able to get a better position on their hand. And position is key for arm wrestling. The better position you're in, the more chances you have, and the more options you're going to get throughout pulling it. So going on about grippers and why I think they're useless is because not only are you trying to generate a lot of finger pressure when you're doing it, but if you grab onto one of them heavy grippers and you go and you give it a real squeeze, you'll actually see that your wrist is starting to go into a negative position. Now, everybody knows when they start arm wrestling, you want to have your wrist in a positive position. If you're applying a shit ton of finger pressure at the beginning of a match, you're actually forcing your wrist into almost a bit of a negative position, and it's going to be easier for your opponent to take your hand. So if you're not squeezing, it's going to help. Now, the only thing I feel grippers would be good for, get rid of the 150 pounders, the 200 pounders, the 300 pounders. And if you're going to run a gripper, get a cheap piece of shit like this from Walmart. Costs you a couple bucks. And the only purpose I would use these for is if I hold it in my hand like this and I'm squeezing this way. By doing this, I'm going to actually fatten my thumb up a lot more. When my thumb is a lot fatter and my opponent goes to grab around my hand, he's not able to get as much around my hand as he would like to. So if he commits too soon, he's committed to only so much on my hand and he won't get any more, because as soon as he releases any finger pressure, I'm taking that much more from him. So hopefully this will help you out. Try to always think about having your fingers straight and planked. Think of them as a set of boards on a skating rink to keep the puck into play, because the playing field is all right here. As soon as you commit too much with the boards, you're going to put the ball out of play. So hopefully this will help you out, guys. Stay tuned for more tips and tricks coming. A few more live streams coming up. Hope you guys have yourselves a great day.